Hey everyone, in this video I will be showing you how to create this back to school affordable makeup look. I am Elise Marie and welcome to my channel. I do come out with new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. For this makeup look, I wanted to do something beautiful, healthy looking, but still a full face of makeup for back to school. I know going back to school or wherever it is that you're starting, somewhere where you need to put on makeup, it's always good to save money, so these are all affordable or more affordable products. At the end of this video, I am going to be letting you know what my top 3 beauty favorites for back to school are, what I probably would have grabbed if I was back in high school, still didn't really know too much about the makeup world, beauty world, what I would definitely have in my collection. So the first thing we're going to do is fill in our brows. I personally think that powder products for your brows are a lot easier to do and quicker to work with, especially if you're a beginner in makeup. So I'm going to be using my BH Cosmetics Flawless Brow Trio in Light. I'm going to take this BH Cosmetics spoolie brush number 28 and just brush up and out my natural brow hairs. I'm grabbing the middle shade that's in the set, the trio if you will, and I'm just going to start mimicking my natural brow hair direction and blend it out. Look at how smoothly that looks. Look at how smooth that looks when you brush it out. It does come with this little angled brush, which is fantastic. This is one of my favorite brow powders. I grabbed for this more than some of my more expensive brow powders, and then to make sure that the brow product stays in place all day and your brow hairs aren't going in different directions while you're sitting in math class, I'm grabbing the Eyelure, what is this called? Brow Control and Shape Gel. Got a nice big wand, and you just fluff them up, smooth them out. I recommend an eyeshadow primer. I personally wouldn't wear eyeshadow without primer, so I think this is really important if you want your makeup to last throughout the whole school day. This one is from Wet n Wild. It's their Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. So I just take a little bit on my finger and just pat it all over the eye area, on the lid, up to the brow, and out. Very easy, quick step that, believe me, is worth it. I wish I had known about eyeshadow primer when I was in school. For our eyeshadow palette today, we're using this one from BeBella Cosmetics. If you love warm, neutral eyeshadows, this would probably be the only palette you would need for the whole school year. Overall, a good palette to have. I think this is the most expensive item that I'm using in this tutorial, but I believe it's about $28 or $27.99, so basically $28. But I really love these shadows. I did a full review on them, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. So I'm going to set down the eyeshadow primer. When I say I'm setting down my eyeshadow primer, what I mean is I'm putting down the first layer of eyeshadow, and then this layer is going to make it easier for the next layers to glide on very smoothly, because you are putting powder down, locking in the primer, and then putting powder on top of powder is going to be a lot easier to blend. So I'm taking this first shade in the palette. You want to grab a shadow that's pretty close to your natural skin color, or if you want to go lighter, that's going to make the eyeshadows you put down pop. I highly recommend this BH Cosmetics brush set. It's now in a hot pink color instead of the purple. I will put it in my description down below, but it was my beginner starter eyeshadow brushes, and it comes with some other brushes as well, and it's just wonderful for a beginner kit. So we're going to go into this beautiful light brown shade, and we're going to put it right in the crease. This is a great transition color for something light and pink that we're going to be doing today. Very quick, easy windshield wiper motions just to place down that first shade. And then I like doing the crease shade because then you can build upon that, your lid shade, and then above your crease as well, so you can visually see everything tying together. And then we're going to just blend. This is just going to buff and smooth out the edges. Don't want harsh lines. Then we're going to go into this beautiful pink shade that's got flecks of gold to it. Very, very stunning. And I'm going to take it on a small eyeshadow brush, very similar to the first one we used, just a lot smaller. And then I'm going to take some setting spray with the shadow already on the brush, and I'm going to spritz it with this spray, and it's going to make it look more metallic and shiny on the lid. See what I mean? Oh my gosh. I love this color in this palette. This BeBella Maroon Mayhem palette is life. So gorgeous. They blend so easy. Oh my gosh. Then we're just going to go back into that crease shade and make sure that we don't have a gap in between the lid shadow and the crease shade. This may seem like it's something that takes a really long time, but you can definitely take some steps out, simplify it, make it easier, whatever works for you with your limited time in the morning getting ready for school, because I know how that is. Then we're going to take a flat brush and go into that first shade again, and just really concentrate that under the brow. The flat brush is going to allow you to place more product all at once. We're going to go into this beautiful, plummy, but not too dark shade. This is going to add more definition to the outer edge of the eye. And I am going to bring a tiny bit into the crease. We will blend it so it looks more smooth and seamless. And very gently and lightly fluff that. We're going to go into this beautiful light pink, almost, I don't want to say silver, but it does have a very nice cool tone to it. This is going to make you look more awake, which is important on those nights you may not have gotten enough sleep. I like to sweep some just up and into this area here. When we go back into that shade, we're going to be using a different brush. This is a more fluffy brush because we don't want to put a heavy pack of that beautiful shade on the brow bone, because then it'll look too flat. It won't tie together as well and look as natural. You can leave it here, or you can add a mock liner. I think using eyeshadow as an eyeliner, especially when you're trying to get out the door and to class, easy peasy. I'm gonna grab this angled brush and we're gonna go into a beautiful reddish purpley type of shade in the palette, and we're literally just gonna go with pressing motions as close to the lash line as you can get. And you just press and you wiggle it out. And then you have eyeliner, just like that. If you want to deepen the look a bit more, you can grab that same shade that we used as a liner on the brush. This brush, look familiar? And we're just going to place some in the outer corner. And of course, we're blending. So that's the first part of the eyes. And what I like to do after I get my brows and my eyeshadow on my upper lid done is I like to go into the face and come back to the lower lash line. And the reason I do that is because, let's say I'm using some eyeshadows that have a bit more fallout or they're powdery, and when you're doing your eyeshadow you may get some down here on your cheeks. It's a lot easier to wipe it away if you haven't put your face makeup on. It doesn't look like I really have much fallout, so I'm going to do what I think is one of the most important steps in your makeup routine, is using moisturizer. I grabbed this one from e.l.f. It's the Natural Glow Lotion. If you're oily, you may want to grab a moisturizer that's more of a lightweight moisturizer that doesn't have a lot of shimmer in it. This one's got a little bit of a yellow color to it. But moisturizing your skin is super important. This one smells really good too. It gives such a beautiful, beautiful glow. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera, because this lotion, oh my gosh, doesn't feel super heavy, not super slippery. For primer, I grabbed this one from Hard Candy. I did a review on this a while back. It's kind of grown on me. It's the Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. It's meant to be cooling. It does feel pretty cooling right at the beginning, and I'm just gonna stripe that onto my face. Creates a barrier between your skin and the makeup, so your pores aren't gonna get as clogged. You're not gonna maybe have as many breakouts because you are protecting with another layer, and they can help extend the wear time of your foundation, what have you. Sometimes they're meant to be more hydrating. This one is meant to be as well. Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Sticks, the idea of keeping moisture into your skin. I'm more of a normal to dry skin type, which is why you'll see me use a lot more hydrating products. For foundation, I chose this one right here. It's one of my favorites from the drugstore, and it's very natural looking. It's the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. I think this one is a really good one for school because you can wear it very sheer. You can build it up. And what I'm going to do is pump some on the back of my hand. I will start with about 1.5 pumps, and then I'm going to take this sponge from Eco Tools. I love this one from the drugstore, and I'm going to bounce the big end into the foundation and just pounce it on my skin. If you use a brush, you might get a heavier application of the foundation. Just keep that in mind. Using a damp sponge is going to give you a nice, seamless, flawless look, but it's also going to sheer it out some. Make sure that it's blended down onto my chin and part of my neck. We don't want that line of my neck is whiter or lighter or whatever shade difference. I'm going to color correct my dark circles with this guy right here. It's from Target. It's the Pixi line. It's a brightening concentrate in peach, and this is going to just make my dark circles not look as terrible as they actually are. I'm gonna grab some of this on my finger and pat. If you do have a deeper skin tone, you may want a deeper shade than this. You may want to do something that's more of an orangey or red tone to cancel out your dark circles. It depends. But goodness knows, there are long nights, school projects, group projects for me in college. Always have to meet up at night because that was the only time when everybody could meet usually. We're just gonna slightly blend that out. Do you see how much of a difference that already made? Oh my gosh. I'm going to go over the top of that color corrector with this guy right here. This is the Instant Age Rewind Maybelline New York concealer. And you just twist it and some of the product comes out, and you're gonna put that right over the color corrector. And the reason you do this is because you don't want the color corrector just sitting on its own, because then it won't look really natural if you just have a peach or orange or whatever under your eyes. It might look a little crazy. So just be sure to go over it with your foundation. If you don't have a good concealer, you could do that as well. I'm gonna put some down my nose too. Ooh, that was a lot, because that's where I tend to lose foundation pretty quick, and on my chin. And take the same sponge and bounce everything out. I like this one because it's got this flat edge on both sides. I'll use either side, but this one especially is really good for under the eyes. Now, if you're someone who just uses concealer and you're not wearing foundation, be sure to check your concealer outside in natural sunlight lighting, because it may look like it matches your skin inside lighting, but when you go outside you can tell the little spots where you've put concealer, so just be sure to check that out. I'm going to take some of this CoverGirl True Blend Minerals powder. I'm in the shade Light. I'm going to tap some in, take this brush, swirl it in there, tap off any excess, and pop it right under my eyes. The reason I apply powder under my eyes is because it's going to make it so that that color corrector and the concealer don't melt off my face during the day. I'm going to do things a little out of order than I normally do because I am using cream products. So I'm going to put my blush on next. This is totally different than my average routine, but I love this blush. I think it's very beautiful and natural. This is from BeBella Cosmetics, and it's the Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale Cream Cheek and Lip Tint, and this is in Cabana. So I'm just gonna place that with a brush. Normally I would set my entire face with that CoverGirl powder and then go on with my bronzer and finish up my eyes and then do my highlight and all of those sorts of things. But since we are using a cream product, you don't want to put cream products over powder because they can get kind of patchy and just not apply correctly. It's not too overwhelming, so it's really not going to look like you specifically put blush on. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. And I'm going to pop on a little bit of a cream highlight. This is from Kokie Cosmetics, which is in Walmart stores. This is their Strobe Lights Face Highlighter. And if you are loving the trend of having a highlight look like it is coming from, not coming from outer space, it looks like you can see it from outer space, you will love this. I'm just going to put a tiny bit like this. Take my finger and blend it out. We'll also go over it with the sponge, but I find with this one it's a little easier to go over with your finger first. Then I'm going to quickly just bounce with the sponge very gently, make sure that it doesn't look just like a straight line. We're going to go back into the powder now that we have our cream and liquid products down. I'm going to use the little sponge, not sponge, fluffy poof that it comes with, and I'm just going to gently press that over the rest of my face. Powdering isn't essential, but if you are someone who's oily, this is a great way to control your oil throughout the day. For bronzer, I grabbed this guy right here. It's Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It smells like a tropical paradise. And I'm just going to take it around the areas, almost like a 3 or an E motion, depending on which side of your face you're working with, just to warm up the skin. I'm just going to keep this right here because we already did put down the blush, so I'm just going to keep it in this section right underneath the highlight and right before the blush. They blend very well together. Bring some down sides of my nose. For those of you who don't want to use a stick or cream highlighter, this one's really great from the drugstore as well. This is from Wet n Wild. It's the Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, and this is in Precious Petals. Because I'm being extra, I'm going to put it over the highlight I already have. I'm not grabbing a lot because I do already have a ton of highlighter on, but what a combination. Then I'm going to take this little brush that we use to do brow bone highlight, and I'm going to take a little bit of this highlight shade and combine it. Pop a little in the inner corner. This is the Scandalize Waterproof Kohl Liner, and this is in Nude. What this does when you add it to your waterline is it again makes your eyes look more awake and bright and fresh. We're going to go back into the palette and take that reddish shade on the angled brush, and we're going to bring that really close right here, just about this far in on the lower lash line. And we're going to take that same brush and go into the plummy lighter shade that we first put in the outer corner and just apply that further in. And we're taking our flat little brush, dipping back into that beautiful light pink, and just finishing off the inner corner, connecting right here. We're going to be taking some setting spray, the one that I use to wet the eyeshadow. This is from Milani. It's the Make It Last setting spray. Another step to make sure your powder isn't looking too heavy, and it also helps keep your makeup on longer. So I'm just gonna scoot back and I like to apply this before putting on my mascara, because sometimes if I put on my mascara and don't let it dry enough and I try to put on some setting spray, then it just makes a whole mess of things. Then if you want to curl your lashes, this is one thing I actually did a lot in high school and college. I'm going to take the CoverGirl So Lashy Blast Pro in black. And then for lips, I'm going to keep it really simple and grab this right here. This is the L'Oreal Paris Nude Balm, and this is in Nourishing Nude. I think they might have changed the names of these, but they still are out there existing. I usually keep this in my purse. I just think it'd be really easy to reapply at school without having to worry about it drying your lips out. You know, I could suggest a liquid lipstick that would last a long time, but school environments or classroom environments, even work environments, can be really drying. So having a balm with a little tint of color I think is perfect for these type of situations. At the beginning of this video, I promised that I would tell you my top 3 beauty favorites for back to school. This is definitely one of them. It is something I didn't use in the tutorial, but I think is essential for anyone going to school. Dry shampoo. If you have never used dry shampoo before, this stuff works miracles. If you don't have enough time to take a shower in the morning, or you just realize that your hair is a little bit greasier than you want it to be, this stuff works wonders. It is a spray. This one is the Batiste Dry Shampoo Strength and Shine. Oh my gosh, if I had known about dry shampoo when I was in school, things would have been so much easier. I do sometimes leave a bit of a white cast in the hair. This one does a tiny bit, so you just have to make sure to spray it far enough away, and then you just smooth it through your hair. Take a nice comb or a brush, let it absorb, and it will take away the greasiness of your hair. Dry shampoo, it will be your friend. Then the other 2 items that I think are really important for back to school are items that I used in my tutorial. Concealer. I remember not having concealer, not having foundation, and getting a big breakout. But like I mentioned in the tutorial, check it out in different lights. I just think concealer is one of those things that's great to have as a teen because your skin is experiencing so much stuff with hormones. Yes. The third thing that I think is very important is moisturizer. I know it's not as fun as some makeup items, but this is the one I used in the tutorial, the e.l.f. Natural Glow Lotion. Make sure your skin is moisturized. I know a lot of teenagers have more oily or acne prone skin, so you don't want to put something on your face, but look for an oil-free moisturizer, something very lightweight, because moisturizing your skin is just going to help kind of balance it back out so that maybe you're not going to have or produce as much oil. Starting skincare early is extremely important. I wish I had known to do that. For me, if I was back in school and still didn't really know anything about makeup, dry shampoo for my hair would be a lifesaver. Just a little bit of concealer to cover up anything that maybe I feel like people are looking at all day long, even though they probably weren't. A little bit of concealer and moisturizer. They may not seem like super fun items. They're not like a pretty eyeshadow palette. I do highly recommend this one from BeBella Cosmetics. The Maroon Mayhem is very, very beautiful. But if you could only pick 3 things, or if I could only pick 3 things, those would be my recommendations to help you get through the school year with your skin, makeup, face situation. I want to say good luck to everyone going back to school. Stay positive, stay healthy, work hard. I know school can be a stressful situation, but I want all of my subscribers, even if you're not going back to school when you are watching this video, thank you for watching, just be positive, try to make changes in your life that are for the good. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this back to school makeup tutorial. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone. This is from Kokie Cosmetics. Scandalized Water Prof. I can't say anything today. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Lash Blast. No. And Sunday. So be her. I